to the 2022 annual meeting of the Jewish Federation of Orange County. If you are joining us tonight, we know it is because you care deeply about our dynamic and special Jewish community. I am Heather Klein, and it is a privilege and an honor to serve as your board chair. I would like to begin with a heartfelt thank you for your generous commitment to our community over the last year. Your generosity allows us to continue our critical work of serving the Jewish community in moments of crisis and investing in the important work of driving out the darkness of anti-Semitism and investing in the Jewish leadership of our future. The Federation system was built for this type of active work, whether it be here in Orange County, the Ukraine, or in Israel. This year, I was able to see incredible growth and stability in our local Jewish Federation and noteworthy leadership in our national platform, Jewish Federation of North America. Earlier this year, after an extensive national search in which the entire Jewish community was able to participate, I was pleased to welcome Eric Ludwig as our new CEO. His experience, vision, and partnership has launched us this year toward fulfillment of our great potential, both as an organization and community. You will hear from Eric later in this meeting as he highlights the impressive impact of the Federation as described in our annual report. We have also seen a resurgence of lay leadership commitment with great talent, conviction, and generosity added to our board and the important work of our communities. We were able this year to joyfully thank two of these leaders, Ann Moskowitz at the Women's Voices event and Rick Matros at the Solomon Society late night. We thank them all and all other leaders for their continued contributions. We were also able to have other leadership, such as Adam Miller and Lori Schwartz, represent us at the national level. In about a week, I will be representing Orange County as I co-chair the International Lion of Judah Conference. With 1,000 Lions of Judah from all around the world, I will gratefully participate with at least a dozen of our most amazing Lion leaders from Orange County. I can feel and see the positive change happening in Jewish Federation. Thank you to all of the visionary leaders who stood to do this important work before me. I will continue to work this year as board chair, taking my turn to be responsible for Klal Yisrael. May we go from strength to strength in 2023. I would now like to turn it over to Rabbi David Eliezri for Devar Torah.
Shalom, it's Rabbi Eliezri, and it's a pleasure to welcome everybody to the annual meeting of the Jewish Federation that does so much for our community. In this week's Torah portion that we're going to read this coming Shabbat, Vayishlach, we have the story of Jacob returning and encountering his brother. For those who remember the story, he took the birthright, he received the blessings from his father Isaac, and he had to leave, so to speak, get out of Dodge, because Esav, his brother, was very jealous and had very nefarious intents toward him. And now it's 20 years later, and he's returning home. And we have a very strange dialogue in the Torah. It tells us that he encounters some kind of angel as he comes to the land of Israel and has a fight with them all throughout the night. So the Rashbam, one of the great commentaries in the Torah from the French rabbis 850 years ago, gives a very, very fascinating insight. He tells us what's happening here. Jacob, our forefather, Yaakov, was afraid of the encounter with his brother Esau. He was fearful of what was going to happen because there had been such bad blood between them. And now God wants him to understand that he should have the courage to stand up to this adversity. So he sends his angel to do battle with him, to show him that he can deal with hardship, he can deal with adversity, he can deal with challenge, and he can emerge victorious. Once he has the battle with the angel, he has the courage to confront his brother Esau. And the lesson about this is very, very important. Life is not a bed of roses. We go through ups and we go through downs. Jewish communities and Jewish organizations also have challenges. And the question is, how do they meet those challenges? How do we do that on an individual level? And how do we do it on a collective level? And the Torah is telling us right now that challenges are part of life. Hardship, difficulty, moments of crisis, it's all part of life and all things that we have to meet and encounter. And because they come to us by divine providence, it means we have the ability to deal with them and to grow from their experiences. The Jewish Federation of Orange County is growing in many wonderful ways. It's gone through all different kinds of experiences and met all kinds of different kinds of challenges. And hopefully with God's help and with your support, it'll meet the challenges of the future. Thank you very much.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Rabbi Eliezri, for your words of wisdom and for your service to our community. I'm curious, is anyone a mountain climber or hiker? Go ahead, show your hands. While I don't climb, I do remember my dad coming home, telling me stories and sharing pictures of his climbs. What I remember most is the gratitude he held for the people who supported the climb. Just to set up base camp, it took Sherpas, a support crew, even a few donkeys. An entire community was established just to have the readiness to even begin the climb. I want to take a moment and recognize the incredible work of the team that has helped establish Federation's readiness. Our amazing board chair, Heather Klein, our equally amazing board, our dedicated Federation staff, and the awesome generosity of you, our community. Thank you. Thank you for all you have done these past years. And while there is still more to do, and we need your partnership and generosity to complete the annual campaign and help us achieve our summit, my role tonight is to look back down the mountain and appreciate the view from base camp. And along the way, share a bit of what we've achieved this past year. So Federation exists to amplify Jewish life in Orange County, Israel, and around the world. We achieve this purpose first and foremost by convening and leading our community, by providing strategic philanthropy through programs and grants initiatives, and by welcoming the next generations of Jewish leadership. Federation leads and convenes by responding to threats to our community, whether they be the COVID-19 pandemic, the crisis in Ukraine, or anti-Semitism in Orange County. When anti-Semitism occurs, Federation's Rose Project is our local response. This past August, we organized Driving Out Darkness, a summit on anti-Semitism and hate. The summit was a partnership of 36 ally organizations, 300 leaders from Orange County's K-12 and college campus communities, as well as elected officials and law enforcement, turned out for a day of immersive learning on anti-Semitism and other forms of hate and threats to democracy. We are grateful to all participating organizations, and especially our program partners, the ADL, Congregation Shir Hamalot, and UC Irvine. In the early days of the humanitarian crisis in Ukraine, our Federation was quick to respond, raising over $200,000 locally and joining a national effort of Jewish federations that has raised $78 million. Together, we've helped fund services from our overseas partners, the JDC and the Jewish Agency for Israel, as well as over 50 different NGOs. The second way we achieve our purpose is by providing strategic philanthropy. The Passports to Jewish Life program has opened the doors for hundreds of children and teens to experience Jewish camp, JCC Maccabi games, as well as educational trips to Poland and Israel. We are incredibly grateful to Temple Beth Emet of Anaheim for the $500,000 transformational gift they've made to support the Passports to Jewish Life program into the future. Thank you for helping us achieve our mission. We are ever so grateful. We also take care of Orange County's Holocaust survivors, making sure they receive services and programs that keep them connected to Jewish life. Funding from Federation and a matching grant from the Claims Conference provides $1.8 million to ensure Holocaust survivors age in dignity. It's a program that is achieved through an innovative partnership with JFS San Diego. And the newly launched Teen Engagement and Wellness Initiative will provide $180,000 in grants funding to local organizations in order to strengthen the network of Jewish teen services in Orange County, ensuring that coming out of COVID-19, our Jewish teens have multiple doorways to supportive programs and have a space for building lifelong friendships. The third way we achieve our purpose is by welcoming the next generations of Jewish leadership. The combined efforts of Women's Philanthropy, Solomon Society, and NextGen are a philanthropic engine that help us raise millions of dollars. And equally important is that they are a welcoming community of people who care a lot about the Jewish future. This was evident at Voices last April when our community came out to honor the lifelong leadership and philanthropy of our 2022 Woman of the Year, Ann Moskowitz. And it was also visible at our recent Solomon Society night, where we celebrated the generosity and the commitment to community service of our 2022 Mensch of the Year, Rick Matros. Mazel tov, Ann and Rick. I believe when we recognize our communal leaders, it inspires a sense of Jewish peoplehood. When we do this, we carry forward their good deeds from one generation to the next. As I look back on some of the highlights from the past year, what I see is a panoramic view of how Jewish Federation convenes and leads our community, provides strategic philanthropy, and welcomes the next generation of Jewish leadership. And by doing so, amplifies Jewish life in Orange County, in Israel, and around the world. I thank you for your commitment to the annual campaign and for all you do in our community to strengthen Jewish life and build a more perfect world. May we all go from strength to strength. It's now my pleasure to welcome David Siegel, our treasurer.
Good evening, everyone. I'm David Siegel, the treasurer of Jewish Federation of Orange County. 2022 was a year of transition for our federation. Under the leadership of our new president and CEO, Eric Ledwig, and our new controller, Adina Kossoff, we have continued to improve our financial reporting, our cost controls, and our cash management. And continuing to date, we have no external debt to vendors, and our accounts payable are both current and significantly reduced from the prior year. Also, as reported last year, our financial statement audits for the years 2017, 2018, and 2019 were completed. And this year, our audits for the years 2020 and 2021 were completed, all with unqualified or clean opinions. So our financial statement audits are now current. Through the end of October 2022, our operating results are positive compared to budget, and our annual campaign contributions from donors are ahead of last year at this time. If our annual campaign revenues in November and December equal last year's amounts, we will have a surplus in operating results without donor restrictions for 2022, and our unrestricted cash balances would be approximately the same as the end of last year, while at the same time reducing debt with our reduction in accounts payable. So how we finish this year and move forward next year depends on meeting our biggest financial challenge: increasing annual campaign donations from all of our donors and supporters. Thank you for your past and continuing support of Jewish Federation of Orange County. And I now turn it back to our board chair, Heather Klein.
At this time, it is my great honor to thank our two outgoing board members for their years of service. First, thank you to Daniel Roisman for his 2 years of service to our board. And also deep gratitude to Rabbi David Eliezri for his commitment to the board over the last 8 years. And now I would like to turn it over to my friend, Rabbi Gersh Zilberman from Temple Bat Yam for our board installation.
Thank you so much, Heather, and welcome everyone. What an incredible presentation we were just honored to see. It's exciting to see what new things are happening at Federation and how this new chapter under the leadership of Eric Ludwig and so many others in the community is helping ensure that we do in fact go from strength to strength here in Orange County, in the Jewish community and beyond. It's my honor to serve tonight as the installing officer for Jewish Federation of Orange County and the Board of Directors. Referring back to Rabbi Eliezri's Devar Torah, Yesher Koach, words about Vayishlach and the wrestling that Jacob encountered on his way back to the land of Israel. In so doing, his name was transformed. If we zoom back, though, from the story, we see that his transformation really took place because he shifted his perspective. He, last week, left the land of Israel, spent a little longer than he anticipated somewhere else, and then came back with fresh eyes. Sometimes we all need to do that, to step away, look at things differently. And one of the vibrant aspects of Jewish Federation is new people coming through, whether it be in the highest levels of leadership or through those who volunteer in a variety of capacities, each coming from different backgrounds, bringing new perspectives. We all know that this is a time of change, and that time of change requires fresh thinking and new approaches. So it's my prayer that in this year and in the years to come, this incredible group of people who are leading our federation will continue to look at challenges with fresh eyes, continue to strive for the betterment of the Jewish community of Orange County, of North America, State of Israel, and Jews worldwide. This is, I believe, Heather Klein's 3rd year as the chair of the board, and this is her 3rd 1-year experience. And that means it's my 3rd experience, and hopefully will run smoothly this time. In this virtual environment, we'll be using polls again, and they'll be coming up on the screen in just a few moments. Be sure to complete the poll when you're prompted by the hosts in the chat, and we won't be able to move on until the next vote is completed. Vote number 1, I'd like to introduce the new directors who are proposed for election to serve 2 years here from January 1, 2023 through December 31, 2024. And we have Danielle Bronner, Jason Feld, Bentley Kerr, Peter McDonald, and Leonard Simon. And if you could please complete the prompt. You can choose to be in favor, to be opposed, or to abstain. We'll give you a few moments to do that. Once we've got the quorum, at least 50, having responded, we will be able to move on to the next one. And I'm told we have the quorum, and 98% are in favor with 1 abstention. By the power invested in me as the installing officer, hereby with great pleasure, install you as directors of Jewish Federation of Orange County. That brings us to the second vote, and those directors being re-elected to serve a 2-year term, January 1, 2023 through December 31, 2024. Andrea Alfie, Sharon Beck, Roger F. Friedman, Barry Grossman, Heather Klein, and Anna Potterman. And again, you've got the choice to be in favor, opposed, or abstain. And this time it's 100%. We have the quorum, and by the power vested in me as the installing officer, I am with great pleasure hereby installing you as directors of Jewish Federation of Orange County. Item number 3 does not require voting, and I would just like to acknowledge the board members who will be remaining for a second year of their term, which began January 1, 2022, ending December 31, 2023. Rebitson, Naomi Blasovsky, Amir Kahana, Steve Kaufman, Adam Miller, Patty Seaburn, David Siegel, Stuart Wolf, and Sam Wyman. Thank you all for your continuing service to the board. And vote number 3. This is for the election of directors. These are proposed as officers to serve a 1-year term from January 1, 2023 through December 31, 2023. Heather Klein, chair of the board, Amir Kahana as the secretary, and David Siegel as the treasurer. What a great lineup all these folks are. And again, you may be in favor, opposed, or abstain. And we have a quorum with 100% of voting in favor. And by the power vested in me, I hereby and with great pleasure install you as officers of the Jewish Federation of Orange County, beginning January 1, 2023. And finally, board member emeritus is an honorary designation given to former board members to recognize their long and faithful service to this organization, the wisdom and the advice they share. Board members emeritus are Hal Kravitz, MD, and Blossom Siegel. I want to thank you all for being here tonight, and I'd also like to welcome back the wonderful Heather Klein.
I look forward to working with Eric and the incredible professional staff, as well as new and returning board members as we continue to be entrusted as your leaders in 2023. A special thank you to Temple Bat Yam's Rabbi Gersh Silberman for joining us this evening. Lastly, there is still time to help support our annual campaign, and I thank you in advance for considering a donation or an increased donation to Orange County's Jewish Federation. We are truly grateful for every dollar raised, and it allows us to do our part in Tikkun Olam, one deed and $1 at a time.